Good morning, evening, afternoon or night. I am Torstein from Cinema Terror, and today I saw a Canadian psychological horror film from 1988 that I have had sitting collecting dust on my DVD shelves for years and years. This turned out to be quite an interesting film, so here are my thoughts on Pin. Pin starts out by telling the story of a rich, traditional family. The father of the house, Frank, frequently takes advantage of the medical dummy that he uses in his profession to teach his two children, Leon and Ursula, about the human body and life in general. They have given this dummy the nickname Pin, from Pinocchio, as his nose never grows because he is unable to tell any lies. Of course, Pin isn't real, but Frank has mastered the art of ventriloquism, and his kids, especially Leon, buys it without any hesitation. As the children grow, Leon is still attached to the dummy and seems to believe that Pin is a real person and not just an object. It becomes Leon's only friend in life, as he otherwise feels alienated from the rest of the world, much due to the unloving environment created by his parents. After Leon, now as a late teenager, has been caught talking to Pin, Frank takes the dummy with him as he is about to drive with his wife to an important event. They never make it there though, as they get into a bad car accident that takes both of their lives. Leon is able to recover Pin, and he can now stop hiding his friendship with the dummy and rather treat it as a real family member, to much worry of his little sister Ursula. With no parental guidance, Leon and Pin grows closer and closer, while Leon's mental state becomes worse and eventually dangerous to his surroundings.
I know it'll help us.
I'm going.
Don't go. Leon is right.
Pin is a convincing horror film that explores mental health, sexuality, and childhood trauma, and it does so in a very respectable, non-exploitative manner. It takes its time and is more worried about telling a coherent and believable story than to try to shock or creep you out. And this can make parts of Pin feel like it's going a bit too slow, but at no point was I ever not engaged in finding out where this would go and what would happen to these characters. I saw a lot of similarities between Norman Bates from Psycho and Leon in Pin. It's easy to feel sympathy towards him as he did not get the help he needed from an early age. He is clearly intelligent, but lack of ability to connect with others and the feeling of isolation becomes too much for him. The only one he can find any connection with, except the Pinny dummy, was his sister Ursula, and that also drove him mad as he got jealous when she grew into a young woman and started to experience with other boys. He is an interesting character and is brought to life excellently by actor David Hewlett. You get to see his descent into madness, and he never once felt fake to me. I bought his performance, and the fact that there are real people out in the world going through the lives like Leon is both scary and sad. On a lighter note, a fun fact about Hewlett is that at one point in Pin, he has a date out with him to see Scanners in cinema, as you do on dates, and Hewlett would actually go on to star in the 1991 sequel, Scanners 2 New Order. The rest of the cast is also superb. The beautiful Cynthia Preston plays Leon's sister Ursula, and she's the one that has to bring some compassion and heart to the story. You feel in love for Leon, and you understand why she wants to go to great lengths to protect him. Terry O'Quinn also has an important part as their dad Frank. Seems like playing a ruthless parent was a thing for him at the time, as he had just done The Stepfather a year prior to this, and my god, he is good at it. And just to add a shameless plug here, I do have a video review up on my channel for The Stepfather if you are in the mood for some more O'Quinn. The dummy itself, Pin, also plays such a huge part of the story that I have to at least mention it. It's a creepy thing, even more so when you figure out that it's all its parts intact, and there are some scenes in Pin that will stick to your memory. I'll just leave it at that. There was also a dark turn, I should say, that I expected the movie to go towards, but it never did, and I think that was the right decision on their parts. I was surprised to see that the director and screenwriter for Pin was a guy named Sander Stern. His only other directorial effort that I was familiar with before this was the 1989 made-for-TV Amityville: The Evil Escapes, an entry that I did not care all that much for in the everlasting Amityville franchise. Then again, he did also work on a screenplay for the original Amityville Horror, a film I like quite a lot and consider to be a classic of the genre. He has also done plenty of other work, and although I am unfamiliar with them, it looks like he prefers making drama films that explores the darker side of people.
You could lie. Stop it! Ursula, wait! Why didn't you help me?
I have never lied to you or for you.
I want you to. I need you to.
His work and focus on Pin is to be praised. The movie paces along nicely, even though it's mostly character development that we are watching, and he did not fall into the temptation of amping up the film by adding any types of jump scares or over-the-top violence. It's a pretty tame movie that only focuses on telling a compelling story of mental health, and I don't think excessive violence would suit the story they were telling, even though I love my gore. I can see some might find the movie to be a bit too slow or dull though, especially if you're used to only watching horror films with lot of effects and flashy editing. While there were some talks about a remake in the early 2000s, I haven't seen any news regarding that project at all during the last few years, and that's probably for the best. Pin has a lot to offer for the viewers out there that have some patience when they consume movies. It has an interesting story with believable twists and turns, a great cast and a talented director behind it. So if this looks like something you can enjoy, then make sure to check it out. Pin gets a strong score of 3.5 out of 5. So, that was my review of Pin. Have you seen this film, and if so, did you agree with my thoughts on it? I am getting close to finishing up all the movies I felt I needed to watch and rewatch before doing my top 10 list for 1988. So if you know of any hidden gems from that year that I might not have catched, then this will be the time to recommend them. If you're new on my channel, then there are plenty more content like this available on it, so browse around and I'll hope you find some other interesting film recommendations. Pressing that like button does actually help, and better than that, it makes me smile. As always, thank you for watching, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I wish you all a great evening. See you soon again here on Cinema Terror.